I could see what it looks like, what the comparison between when it goes on wet. It looks so strong, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then you dry it off and it just sort of loses its body. It loses happen. So what I'd like you to do, first of all, let's start with the green, okay? So I want you to dry your brush, wash it, dry it, and then put your brush. Has everybody got their two colours mixed up? Is there anybody that hasn't got two pools of colour? Nobody's putting their hand up, so I'm assuming that you all have. Okay, so I want you to, if you've got I would use the biggest brush you've got, whether it's an 8 or a 9. I'm using a 9. And if you've got a sable brush, it's much easier simply because the sable hairs hold the colour and water. They hold more colour and water than a normal synthetic brush. I'm just telling you this because it's useful to know. Okay, and it really, if you want to carry on with watercolour, it really is worth investing in a good brush. One good brush is worth having rather than a whole lot of different brushes and different sizes, because one good brush can do everything. Okay, so I'm going to put my brush into the green and I'm going to fill it up. In other words, I'll roll the brush like this. Look, this is my green. And I'm rolling my brush in there. You take off the very last few drips. Now that brush has got plenty of colour in it. Now I want you to watch this very carefully and don't assume that you know how to do it. Don't do anything until I've finished. And I'm going to, I'll try and work so you can, if you can't see me, just say, first of all, I'm going to put down a band of green. Okay, now can you see that there's a lot of paint there? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Now I'm going to go back into my palette. I'm going to refill my brush and I'm going to place it just where that pool of water is and move across. Now, if I want to straighten the edge, then obviously I've got to go up on the tip of my brush and draw down the edge so that it's not so wobbly. Right, and then I go back, refill my brush and work across, and then again up on the tip of my brush to get the edges nice and straight, back into my palette to refill, and then I'm just pulling that down. Now everybody at this point, I don't want you to do it, just watch me. Note there is still a river of colour here. My board is slightly at an angle, it's resting on a roll of masking tape, but that's what you should have as well. Then you squeeze out the surplus green because you don't want to waste it, because you might use it, and in my case I'm going to need a lot of green for my tulips. Wash your brush in the green jar, dry it, and then go into one of the colours. If you've got two colours, I've got purple and I've also got red. I'm going to use the red. I'm going to load my brush up with the vermilion and I'm going to now let the vermilion join with the green pool. I'm going to go back into the vermilion and refill and go across again. Back into the vermilion, load up my brush. Back again. Back again. And again. And now I'm going to finish off. So I'm going to squeeze that colour out, not back in the red, but somewhere else, because it's got a bit of green in it. I'm going to put my dryish brush into this puddle here. Squeeze it out in the palette. Back into the tip of the brush, into the pool. And again. Now, if I raise my board up a little bit more, the rest of that wet colour will pool down into this river, and then I can just lift it off. Okay, now can you see how these colours beautifully fuse together in the middle? And when it's dry, fingers crossed, it's going to be completely flat. The paint, I mean. Okay, there shouldn't be any tide marks or anything like that in there. So that is the way you lay a flat wash, and it is also a way of fusing complementary colour, which can be very useful in a subject such as this, because I don't suppose I could ever in a million years just mix that colour. And you draw, or rather you paint one flower head or two flower heads, just freehand, okay? Yeah. So I don't want you doing any pencil line and filling it in. I just want you to work directly with your brush.
Okay.
Shall I show you mine, Sue?
Yes, please. Can we spot?